The first time Daniel held a gun, it wasn't to use it. It was to prove he wasn't weak. And by the time police found him, hands shaking, finger hovering near the trigger, it wasn't strength he was trying to prove anymore. It was survival. Daniel Kovacs grew up in a quiet suburb on the edge of Bucharest, Romania. The kind of place where neighbors still greeted each other by name, where Sunday mornings meant pressed shirts, polished shoes, and church bells echoing down narrow streets. His father was a schoolteacher. His mother, a nurse. Discipline wasn't harsh in their home. It was structured, intentional. Respect was expected. Integrity wasn't negotiable. You don't just become a good man, his father used to say. You choose it every day. And for a long time, Daniel did, until the house stopped feeling like a home. It began quietly, arguments behind closed doors, then louder ones, then doors slamming, plates breaking, silence stretching for days. By 16, Daniel had learned how to read tension like a language. By 17, he had stopped trying to fix it. The night his father left, he didn't say goodbye. He just packed a suitcase and walked out while Daniel pretended to sleep. That was the first crack. The second came when his mother, once gentle, patient, became distant, hardened by double shifts and emotional exhaustion. Conversations turned into instructions. Warmth turned into absence. And somewhere between those two losses, Daniel started drifting. He met Stefan at a rundown basketball court near Gerda Nord. Stefan had an easy confidence about him, the kind that made rules feel optional. He didn't ask many questions, didn't judge, just offered something Daniel hadn't felt in months. Belonging. "You think too much," Stefan laughed one evening, tossing him a cigarette. "Out here, you just act." At first, it was small things. Skipping school, shoplifting, breaking into abandoned buildings just for the thrill of it. Then came the money. Quick, easy, addictive. By 19, Daniel was part of a tight-knit crew. 5 of them. They weren't reckless amateurs. They studied routines, targeted small businesses, planned entry and exit points like professionals. No violence. That was a rule. "We're not animals," Stefan would say. "We take, we leave. No one gets hurt." Daniel held on to that rule like a lifeline until the night it broke. The job was supposed to be simple, a late-night robbery of a private warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Electronics, minimal security, in and out in under 10 minutes. But something felt off. Daniel noticed it first. The silence. Too quiet, too still. "Something's wrong," he whispered. Stefan waved him off. "Stick to plan." They didn't know the police had been watching them for weeks. Detective Andrei Ionescu had been tracking the crew's pattern. Timings, targets, even the specific tools they used. He knew this wasn't random crime. It was systematic. And tonight, he was ending it. The moment they stepped inside, floodlights exploded on. "Police, drop your weapons." Chaos followed. One of the crew bolted. Another swung a crowbar wildly before being tackled. Stefan reached for his gun, something Daniel had never seen him carry before. That wasn't part of the rules. That wasn't supposed to happen. "Stefan, don't." Gunfire cracked through the air. A warning shot. Then another. Daniel froze. Everything slowed. The shouting, the footsteps, the pounding of his own heart. And suddenly he was alone, cornered behind a stack of crates, a gun in his trembling hands. "Daniel Kovacs." The voice was calm, firm, not shouting, not angry. "Put it down." Detective Ionescu stepped into view, weapon raised but steady, controlled. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't panicked. He was watching Daniel like he already understood him. "You're not like them," Ionescu said. Daniel swallowed hard. "You don't know me." "I know enough," the detective replied. "No violence in your past jobs. Clean records before this. You hesitate. Every time." Daniel's grip tightened on the gun. "Drop it." Another officer shouted from behind, but Ionescu lifted a hand slightly, signaling them to hold. Then he took a step closer. "At gunpoint. That rule you had," he continued quietly. "No one gets hurt. That was yours, wasn't it?" Daniel's breath hitched. "You think this ends well if you pull that trigger?" Ionescu pressed. You think Stefan's waiting for you out here? He ran. That hit harder than anything. He left you, the detective said, just like the rest eventually do. The words cut deep, not because they were cruel, but because they were true. For a split second, Daniel wasn't in that warehouse anymore. He was back in his bedroom, hearing the front door close, pretending not to cry, left behind. Again, his hands started shaking. I didn't mean for it to get this far, he whispered. I know, Ionescu said, and somehow that made it worse, because it meant someone saw him, not as a criminal, but as a boy who had lost his way. You still get to choose, the detective added softly. Right now, the same words his father used to say. You don't just become a good man. You choose it, every day. The gun slipped from Daniel's hand and hit the concrete floor with a hollow clang. Silence followed, then the sound of handcuffs. In the months that followed, the story unraveled. The crew's operations, Stefan's escalation into armed robbery, the careful manipulation, how he recruited boys like Daniel who were looking for something to hold on to. Detective Ionescu testified on Daniel's behalf. He made a choice, he told the court, when it mattered most. It didn't erase what Daniel had done, but it changed what came next. Years later, Daniel would stand in a different kind of room. No bars, no sirens. Just a group of teenagers sitting in folding chairs, listening. I didn't wake up one day and decide to become a criminal, he told them. It happened slowly, quietly, one bad choice at a time. He paused. But the same is true the other way. A small smile. You can come back. One choice at a time. Somewhere in the back of the room, a boy sat with his arms crossed, trying not to look interested. Daniel recognized that look. He used to wear it too. And this time, he didn't look away. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping true crime stories and shocking investigations. What would you have done if you were in Daniel's position? Surrender or fight to escape? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments below.